Hey guys, Brett Weiss here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Going to be talking about video games today, big surprise, but I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different that has to do with video games, in particular about a mistake I see again and again in video game writing. Whether it's writing online or writing in books or magazines, I see this mistake over and over and again. And as a reader, you guys might recognize it as you read, Game Informer or just a book that you found at Barnes& Noble or got off Amazon or whatever in a newspaper. I see this mistake all the time, but I see it in video game writing in particular. I see it all the time. The misplaced modifier is what it's called. Now, before I go on and tell you what that is and point out some examples, I'm not doing this video to say I'm a better writer than anyone or that I don't make mistakes or that my books are better than anyone else's. I make mistakes too. As a matter of fact, one time I did a 2,000 word article on Charles Schulz, the creator of Peanuts comic strip, and I misspelled his last name. And I did that throughout the article and on the cover. My editor didn't see it, and there it was in the newspapers all over the country, and there it was. Embarrassing, but hey, mistakes happen. Professional writers, professional editors, everyone makes mistakes. I'm not saying that I'm better than anyone, but I do want to point out this mistake because I see it all the time. The misplaced modifier. Now, what is that, you ask? According to English and rhetoric professor Richard Nordquist, a misplaced modifier is a word, phrase, or clause that doesn't clearly relate to the word or phrase it is intended to modify. In prescriptive grammar, misplaced modifiers are usually regarded as errors. Now, let me tell you some specific game writing some stuff I've read recently about particular games where I've encountered this mistake, and I see it all the time. So here's one example. Based on the film, players take off and battle in an F-14 Tomcat over 4 missions in this combat shooter. Now, obviously, when you say based on the film, players take off, that makes it sound like players is based on the film. That's not what the writer was trying to get across. Here's another example, similar example. It happens all the time with games that are based on movies and TV shows. Based on the action movie series, the player takes control of detectives Riggs and Murtaugh as they battle through levels of attacking thugs. Now, obviously what he meant to say was based on the film, players take off. That's not correct. It's based on the film Lethal Weapon for the NES. That's what it should have been. Here's another example, this one's a very different example, but still, again, video game writing. Set many years before the original Dragon Warrior, in a world separate from the first 2 games, a wicked fiend, Baramos, threatens to destroy the world. Now, instead of a wicked fiend, Baramos, it should say Dragon Warrior 3, because that's what the writer was referring to. Now, here's a fourth and final example. Again, we all make mistakes. I just want to point out this one type of mistake because I see it all the time. And maybe as a reader, that you'll recognize it. And as a writer, maybe moving forward, maybe this is a mistake you can avoid. So here's a fourth and final example. Many years before they became a standard accessory, I was equally cursed and blessed to have access to a modem. Now, a better way to say this might be, many years before they became a standard accessory, modems blank blank, reword the sentence, because in that case, many years before they became a standard accessory, the accessory they're talking about is modem, so that should be right after that sentence fragment. So anyway, misplaced modifiers. Now let me go on a little bit more about a misplaced modifier and what that is. Mark Lester and Larry Beeson point out in the 2012 McGraw-Hill Handbook that misplaced modifiers do not make sentences ungrammatical. Now this was a surprise to me. I thought the sentence was automatically grammatically incorrect. But according to Mark Lester and Larry Beeson of the 2012 McGraw-Hill Handbook, they say it doesn't make them ungrammatical, but it says misplaced modifiers are wrong because they say something that the writer did not intend to say. So instead of actually being a grammatical mistake, like maybe a period in the wrong place or something, or a capital letter that's wrong, it just confuses what the writer is trying to say. So clarity of writing. So I guess according to these guys, it's not technically a grammar mistake. It just doesn't clearly say what the writer is trying to say. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this. If you're a writer, I hope maybe this will in some way some small way make you a better writer, or make you, help you avoid that particular mistake. And again, we all make mistakes. It's understandable. We're just humans here. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And if you want to comment, what mistakes have you seen in video game writing? All right, guys, we will talk to you later. Peace out.